imagine how relieving it would be if you know that you don't have to talk about things about 10 times, 20 times before your kids actually do them. For us to raise responsible children, we have to instill the values in them early enough. And today, I'll be giving you 5 things you can teach your kids early enough, as early as even 2 years old, as early as they can speak, that can help them become more responsible kids. And this is responsible kids who will be smart kids. Hello, healthy smart moms. Welcome to Apple Melon. Here we talk all things kids nutrition and help you with simple, fun ways to help you raise a smart kid. And because we want you to be able to raise a smart kid should be responsible, okay? So, what are some things that you can teach your kid early enough to help them to be more responsible human beings? Sometimes we worry so much about our kids because we've not taught them to take control of themselves, and it becomes a challenge for us. So, without further ado, let me go to the first thing. The first thing you want to teach them is every action has a consequence. As simple as it is. In the beginning, they don't need to understand it fully, but make them to cram it such that it records in their minds, and as they begin to grow, when different situations show up, you show them that every action has a consequence. For example, if a child sleeps very late and their wake up time that you have put for them is 5 a.m. and you wake them up at 5 a.m. and they are pulling their bodies and they don't want to do things, you tell them this is the consequence of you sleeping late. Because when you sleep late in the morning, you're all tired and you still want to sleep more, of which it's time for you to wake up. That's a way that you can instill and teach them this in a way that gets them to be more responsible. So they begin to think of every action that they do to have a reaction, right? Such that you tell them that when you do good things, you have good consequences. You read your books, you pass your exams. You sleep on time, you wake up early and you're strong and energetic and you can play more. You finish your homework on time, you can have more playtime. Do you get it? So you teach them that in a very simple way that you can start from as early as 2 years old. If you've not started yet, start now. All you have to do is just tell them. Rule number 1, every action has a consequence. Don't try to refine it. Just say it and get them to repeat it. The second very simple thing you can teach your kid is when you make a mess, you clean the mess. Simple. That's a very important lesson for a child to know, such that they know when I spill water, I have to clean it. Don't expect that, okay, because you're just when your child spills water, you take a rag and give him or her and you guys clean together. That's enough. Put it in words that they can actually cram and leave it in their heads. When you make a mess, you clean a mess. This particular one teaches a child that it is okay to make a mistake, right? When you make a mistake, you correct your mistake. As simple as it is, when you make a mess, you clean a mess. Children make a lot of messes. You can want to go out and your child is trying to pour water and they pour it and it goes out of the glass. It's not something to yell about. When you make a mess, they complete it. You clean the mess. So they'll go into the kitchen, get the rag, and clean the mess they made. So they are not afraid to make mistakes in front of you, which is very important. Now, the third thing you want to teach your children, and you want it to be like a mentor in your home, is you never lose, you learn. This one will help you greatly when it's homework time. You never lose, you learn. So if your child is trying to do mathematics in class, and the teacher gives a wrong mark because they did it wrongly, and the child wants to cry or something, they remember in their head, if you've said it enough and you've given them the lesson enough, they remember in their head, never lose, you learn. So because I did it wrong this time, what can I learn from this particular thing that happened this time? So that helps your child to find something to learn in every situation. As the children grow, they are going to have a lot of circumstances which will be challenging. But this particular one teaches the child to find a lesson in every challenge. For the fourth thing you want to teach your child, or you want your child to recite daily if you can, when it gets hard, you try harder. When it gets hard, you try harder. Say it to them until they can actually repeat it to you. You can start it and they finish it. When it gets hard, you try harder. This one too will help you for homework time. When it's homework that they feel that it's so hard, oh, I cannot do it, I'm so tired. You tell them when it gets hard, they repeat to try harder. Okay? So it makes them to know that when life as a whole gets hard on them, you try harder to see what best you can do. You don't give up. This one teaches them that you don't give up, right? It is until you've tried your best and you see that it's not working, that's when you give up. But when it gets hard, what you do is not give up, you try harder. Such that when they are trying to maybe read their books and they find it difficult to pronounce a certain word, you don't go there and you pronounce it for them. You remind them. When it gets hard, what do? The child says, I try harder. So, what is the sound? This is k, a, p. What is that? Read the sounds. The child reads the sounds, put it together, 2 at a time, and then you go to 3. Because when it gets hard, what do? You try harder. The 5th thing you want to teach your child is to treat others like you want to be treated. Treat others the way you want to be treated. This is going to help them in so many things. In class, when they want to fight, they'll remember that you're supposed to treat others like you want to be treated. Do you want somebody to fight you? When you want to hit somebody, they'll think of treat others like you want to be treated yourself. And they'll be like, do I like somebody to hit me? No. They will not even go to take things which does not belong to them, because they'll remember that if somebody took my thing, will I be happy? No, I'm going to be sad. These things might seem not to be making any sense for kids who are maybe from 2 years to 5 years. There are times which they'll be reciting all those things and doing other things. But what you want to do is continue saying them. Continue saying them. Continue saying them. Be consistent and do not give up, because it's a responsible child who knows that they have to do their homework. It's a responsible child who knows that when it's exam time, I have to sit on my seat and do my work. It's a responsible child who knows that I don't have to cheat. It's a responsible child who is a smart child. So if you're looking at raising a smart child, then you have to be raising a responsible child. For the last thing you want to teach your child, which is a bonus to our 6 points, is think before you act. Before you do anything, think before you act. You have to think before you act. You do it and you do it action, so they see what you're trying to do. Most times we have to communicate to our kids what we want from them. If you want to have a smart child, you will have to put in the work to raise a smart child. And that is why today we are telling you how to make your child a very responsible child so they can actually be smart. In all the things that you do, know that whatever action that you do with your child will either get your child to think or to fight you. Right? When somebody is frightened, they get to the point where they want to fight. When somebody is tired, they get to the point where anything that you want them to do that is not what they want to do, they want to fight you. What you want to teach your child is to get them to think. I'll give you a simple example. The other day I was going to school with my kids, and we got to school, and because my boy saw something on the way, I stopped to get water, to buy water, and he saw something on the way and said he wanted it. And because I said, no, you cannot always have what you want, and we left there, he started being naughty, and when we got to school, he said he doesn't want to enter the school anymore. So I looked opposite the school and I saw a bush, like a forest, that no one would like to go in there. Look at it, you go in there, there'll be snakes and scorpions and all sorts of things. So I'm like, you don't want to go to school? Should I carry you, or you're going to walk with your legs? He didn't answer. I was like, okay, that doesn't work. So I asked him, you don't want to go to school? The school is on your right. You don't want to go to school. Do you want to go to your left, inside the bush where there are the scorpions and the snakes and everything? He said, yes, mommy. Looking at that bush, in the beginning of the bush, there is a point where you walk about a meter, which is a bit clear, right? That's why I gave him that particular consequence. So if he decided to walk to the bush, before he would walk from where the car is to inside of the bush, he must have had a rethink of what he wants to do. So he said he wants to enter the bush. I was like, okay, get your bag, let's go to the bush. I'll shift the car and you get into the bush. And he was coming down and he saw that I was very serious. So in that point, he wants to fight, but I've given him options and there is no need to fight. He realized there's no need to fight, and he thought of it by himself that me going into this bush wouldn't do me any good. So I'd rather just go and meet my friends in school. And it was simple. As he was going down, I'm like, okay, you can get down and go to the bush where you want to go. I was like, no, mommy, I don't want to go to the bush anymore. I want to go and meet my friends. Case closed. No one shouted, the crying stopped, and I got what I wanted, and he got what he wanted according to him, which was actually what I wanted. For you to raise smart kids takes a lot of work, and you have to be very patient. It is not about what you want actually, but the aim of raising smart kids is so that they can navigate life better and they can become the best version of what they were supposed to be. So, in raising smart kids, when we talk about smart kids, the R in the smart kids we're talking about is for responsible. So, those are 5 things you can teach your child early enough to get them to be responsible kids, which leads them to being smart kids. If you enjoyed this video, please do not hesitate to like and share other things that you teach your kids, other short statements that you teach your kids that has helped them to progress and be more responsible and be smart kids, right? And if you're not yet subscribed, what are you waiting for? Please click on the subscription bell and put a notification button so that each time you upload a video like this, you'll be the first to know. So till next time, thank you so much for joining us today. Let's keep raising healthy, smart kids. Bye.